We're going to discuss threshing, winnowing, storage and animal husbandry in brief. So today we're going to discuss another topic is threshing and winnowing. So this is one of the method which is used by a farmer in agricultural practice. So my question is threshing and winnowing are the same? No. Threshing, it is done by beating the sheaves against the wooden bar to separate the grain from the stalk. And winnowing is the technique which is used to process of removing the unwanted husk from the grain. So it is done by pouring the grain from a height on a windy day when the grain fall on the ground and the chaff is blown away. Here the chaff is CHAFF. Here the chaff is refers to unwanted material. Okay, unwanted materials like the particular grain, seed coats, or that we consider as a chaff. So let us proceed in our book. Threshing and winnowing. Threshing is the process of just loosening the edible part of the grain from the surrounding scaly, inedible chaff, and one method of threshing involves beating the grain on the threshing floor. Another traditional method is to place the harvested material on a hard surface and make farm animals such as a cattle or donkey walks in circle on it. However, in developed area, threshing is now mostly done with a combined harvester. So, I just give you one example. So, when you travel to your village areas, okay, rural areas, what happened when you travel by a car, on the roadside you will see some of the grains were left over on the road. So, the cars can easily were driven on the road where the grain which is filled with the road. Why? Because when the pressure of the car which goes, the wind which occupies the occupies the floor, that is the wind which occupies the road, can split out the scaly part from the particular grain. So that is the chaff which will be expelled out by the grain. Okay, ma. So this method is the threshing. And winnowing. Another method we seen here in village. Their farmers just put all the grains down and they can help with the help of bullocks and donkeys. They allow them to walk on the grain. So what happened? This donkeys and cows were walking on the grain, so that chaff will come out easily. So when they will winnowing method, when they apply the winnowing method, easily the chaff went off and only the grains which remains on the thing. Now we see about winnowing. Winnowing is a method of separating grain from chaff by throwing the mixture into the air with a winnowing fan. The chaff, as being lighter, is blown away by the wind, while the heavier grains falls down for recovery. Insect pests can also be removed from stored grain with this method. So this type of winnowing method, which is used by our parents in our day-to-day life, okay, that is by your mother, while they prepare like a groundnut chutney, what happened? You just go and ask your mother. So what she will do? So what happened? Mother will remove the skin of the groundnut. What she will do? She will follow this winnowing method. So when she allowed this, what happened? The groundnut seed coat will be removed off and that will be carried over by the wind. It easily went off because the chaff was being very lighter, and you can see all the groundnut will be remain on the plate. Okay, so that is the chaff will be removed and even the stones or anything can be expelled out by this method. Next we move on to storage. So here you can see on the right hand side storage. Okay, ma'am. So threshing and winnowing, that is the method which is followed in the agricultural practice. What happened after that method? Only the grains will be remained. Okay, so that grain should be stored. For that we need a procedure called storage. Food products obtained from crop have been preserved and stored for future use. So why we were storing the food product? Because in future use we can able to use it. Proper storage ensures that food is free from infestation by fungi and insects. So what happened? You just open any of your pulses and you just kept aside in your home. What happened? Definitely there will be like ant will occupy all pulses, or the fungi. If the grains get, if the pulses get wet, what happened? There will be the growth of fungi. So to avoid all these, there will be proper storage should be maintained. The produce can then be made available throughout the year and transported to different places easily. So if we storage the crop, what happen? We can able to transport from one place to another place. Okay, because every state can make use of a particular crops. So these all about storage. Methods used for storage. Grains are dried in the sun and then packed in bag or bin before being stored in granaries. This helps to reduce to some extent the growth of microorganisms and damage caused by rodents. To keep the granaries free of pests, various pesticides are sprayed in them. How grains are stored and preserved. The grains are stored in such as bag, silos, warehouses, container, and even in piles on the ground. Grains stored at high moisture and high temperature spoil quickly. The spoilage may be reflected by the end use of the grains. So here you can see the grains are left in the sun, and after once the grain gets fully completed dried up, we can able to pack in a bag or bin. Okay, so where we can store in the granaries. So why we are doing this? Because it will help to reduce some extent growth of the microorganisms. So before I said there will be like fungal growth. So to avoid all this, we used to store the grains. And damage caused by rodents. So here the rodents refer to rat. Okay, so rat easily they can able to what? Easily they will eat all your grains and they can left off. So to prevent all this, we are storing the grains in a proper method. To keep the granaries free of pests, various pesticides are spraying in them. So to keep away from the rodent, we should be ensure that there will be like pest free. Okay ma. Next we see about grain silos. Grain silos are specially designed large container for bulk storage of grain. Okay, so you know what is grain silo? This is a very bulk storage of grain. It's like a big container. Different stocks of grains are stored at different levels. The grain silo are designed such that a temperature can be controlled and the grain can be inspected. So there will be like fumigation process and protected from rodents, birds and pests. The grain can be collected using chutes or slides at different levels. So grain silos is like a large container which is used to store the grain in bulk amount. So the grain silos are designed that the temperature can be controlled and also can be inspected by fumigated. So what is fumigation? It involves the application of formulation which release phosphine and which fill the area around the grain kernel with a toxic gas. Okay. So it is important to understand that the grain is not fumigated, but the space around the grain is fumigated. So due to this fact, there will be no phosphine residue on the grain. Okay, so the fumigation process is a method to control the pest that completely fills an area with gaseous pesticide or fumigant. Okay, the fumigant which is referred to control the pesticide where we use the chemical, no, that is fumigant. So this method also affects the structure itself, affecting the pests that inhabit the physical structure such as like wood borer and dry wood termite. So these are the insects where we can get rid of with the help of this fumigation process. The grain can be collected using chutes or slides at different levels. A shortage of rain in a particular year can lead to a shortage of grain. Okay, so why? Why? Because see, if it is no rainfall, what happens? So there will be like water scarcity. So depends upon the water, there will be the development of crop. Okay. So some stock of grain is kept in reserve to compensate for a shortage. So if it is like any shortage, we can able to store our grains. So that storage of grains is called buffer stock. Okay. So if it is like when the scarcity of the particular grain, so there will be the some amount of stock which to be held. So that shortage is being compensated by a method called buffer stock. So these all about storage. Next we proceed animal husbandry. Animal husbandry is the branch of agriculture concerned with animals that are raised for meat, fiber, milk, egg or other products. So see, in our day-to-day life we were consuming milk. Okay, and during Sundays what happened? We were eating a lot of non-veg. It includes what? Meat, egg and chickens, right? So these all get from our animal husbandry. So how we can sort of this thing? So humans started domesticating animal when they stopped leading a nomadic life and started settling down in communities around 10,000 year BC. Okay. Economically, useful farm animals are referred to as livestock. Okay, so livestock is the animal like we were using for our economic process. Okay, see if I'm growing one cow, okay, with the help of that cow, I can able to do a milk business. So I can give a liter of milk to the neighbors, and I can earn money from that. So this method and this usage is called livestock. Okay, the farm animals are used for economic thing, that is called livestock. So the breeding, feeding and carrying of livestock for food and other purpose is called animal husbandry. So see, if you want a milk from the cow, what happen? So you should feed the cow. You should feed the cow, you should maintain the cow, you can able to care. The care and the proper maintaining is very, very important when they were doing the animal husbandry. Many farmers in India depend on animal husbandry for their livelihood. In addition to supplying milk, meat, egg and eggs, animals mainly bullock are very important are draft animal. DRAUGHT, draft animal, that is used for ploughing and carrying loads. Here you know about milk, meat, egg. And what is this about hides? HIDES. Hides is nothing but the animal skin. Okay. So like to rear the sheep or rear the snake skin. So this will include in the hide. But here in a domestic purpose, that is the livestock, in an animal husbandry, we will rearing of sheep skin. Okay, to make wool. So these purpose we will use this animal husbandry in for the economical growth development. So next we are going to see about useful animals. See, we were seeing the product from we yield in the animal husbandry. Okay, so what and all the product we seen? Meat, milk and egg. So where we getting from that? So we were getting this product from animal. So meat we will use to get from cow, goat and hen. Milk we will get from cow, goat and sometimes donkey also. The eggs from the hen. Okay. So humans are depend on animals in innumerable way. Animals are a source of food, that is meat, milk, egg, and clothing, that is wool, leather. So they are useful in transportation and also provide company as pets. Animal products are obtained by different methods like dairy farming, livestock farming, poultry farming. So dairy farming is nothing but the production of milk. Livestock farming is nothing but the production of the product which can be able to yield with the animal. And poultry farming is nothing but raising birds such as hen and ducks. And here you can see one of the method is sericulture. So here you can see one of the method is sericulture, that is rearing of silkworm. Apiculture is the term rearing of honeybees, and pisciculture is rearing of fish. So this way, okay, we were using the animals and insects to gain a product for economic growth and development. The animals domesticated by humans can be divided into following categories based on the product we get from them. Okay, so with the help of the product, we were classifying the animals into group. So let us see what and all the group which is there. So milk eating animals, the animal which gives milk. So that we different in a group called dairy animals. So the example will be cow, buffalo and goat. And next one is meat yielding animal. Okay, so where we can get meat from the animal like pig, sheep, goat, cattle, fish and poultry. And next one is egg yielding animals. So here the poultry, okay, that is hen, ducks and so on. And next we see about wool and skin yielding animals like sheep, goat, cattle and camel. So in this way the animals the animals are more benefit to the human for the economic development. Okay, so this way we were getting the product from the animals. And here you can see beekeeping method. Okay, so this is like apiculture method where you can get honey from a honeycomb. Okay, so this will be the well established example which is given in your book, beekeeping. So the process carried over for the beekeeping is apiculture.